This is a live picture. This is the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, talking, of course, about today's deadly school shooting. Let's go ahead and listen in.
I'm so grateful to the teachers and the faculty at Annunciation that threw their bodies on top of children. They did the right thing to protect what could have been so many more children dead. I'm grateful for our first responders and our police officers, not just from Minneapolis, but around the state, who ran towards danger when so many of the rest of us could have ran in the opposite direction. And I also want to take this opportunity in calling us all to action to recognize that we shouldn't just think of these kids as somebody else's kids. Think of them as your own kids. Think about the last thing that you told your son or daughter when you said goodbye to them this morning. The gentle kiss on the cheek, a few kind words, shoving them a pack of applesauce. You should be able to do that with the confidence that you're going to see them again that evening. You should be able to do that with the belief that our schools, our system, our society can keep these kids safe. Because these beautiful children at Annunciation, they should not have to go through this right now. They should be learning math and playing at recess and messing around in a cafeteria and playing with their friends. That's what childhood is about. But what we know is that far too often people are robbed of that childhood because of this senseless gun violence. And don't let anybody tell you that it's not about guns, because it is. When you have more guns than people in America, you got a problem. When we experience these acts one week and the next month the same action takes place again, you got a problem. When we see other countries around the world that experience senseless gun violence, say they're going to do something about it, yet here we are. Why have we not taken the necessary action to stop our children from dying? This is not about hating one community, a community that's pushing back or stopping us. This is not about hating anybody. This is about love of our kids, which is the most basic and profound love that you can possibly provide.
What are you going to do, Mayor Frey?
And so each and every one of us must commit to making this all mean something greater than just the words. We need to have true gun reform right now. Not tomorrow, not the next day.
We have been listening to Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey talking about today's school shooting. 2 children killed, 17 others injured. This has happened at a Catholic church in Minneapolis, and what police are calling a deliberate act of violence. We have Fox's Courtney Godfrey live there in Minneapolis with what we are learning tonight. Courtney, still a very active scene behind you.
Yeah, it certainly is, Marla. We just saw the crime scene investigators show up, and we're seeing community members continually show up, placing flowers, praying on this scene. We expect that the scene will be secured for some time now as they collect evidence and they really try and figure out what happened here today. Still no motive being publicly released in this shooting, but as you mentioned, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old now dead. Those first responders saying that those individuals were dead when they arrived on the scene. 14 other children were injured by gunfire, ages 6 to 15. 3 other parishioners in their 80s were also injured, and so many questions tonight about who this shooter was. Minneapolis police identifying him as Robin Westman, a 23-year-old with no previous criminal history. They say it was just before 8:30 this morning when Westman started shooting through the window at the side of the church. Police say the shooter used 3 different firearms to carry out the act, and they believe Westman acted alone, dying of a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the scene. Students describing how they hit the floor and sought shelter under the pews, saying while they had practiced for an active shooter situation in the school, they were not prepared for it to happen in church.
We just got into the pews and he shot through the stained glass windows. And then my friend, he was like laying on top of me, like making sure I was safe, and he got hit. So that was really brave of him.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying.
Yeah, you can hear the grief in our mayor's voice there. The school confirming to us that the shooter's mother did work at the school for some time. She retired back in 2021. The Minneapolis police chief also confirming the existence of a manifesto that has been spread widely on social media throughout the day. They did work quickly with the FBI to get that taken down, as it did contain some pretty graphic content, and with that manifesto out there, the police chief said they still are not ready to identify a motive here. This, as this city, this state continues to grieve, as many of us have children that were returning to school this week or preparing to return to school next week. It's a hard day here in Minneapolis, Marla.
A parent's absolute worst nightmare. Courtney Godfrey, thanks so much for your reporting there.